You've all been at my house at some point. I make meatballs a lot. I assumed that was one of the times. I feel like I should not be chastised for this.
I've had your meatballs.
Thank you, Gordo.
Thank you, Gordo.
I've had your meatballs.
I thought your meatballs were delicious, Joe.
They were good.
Welcome back, everyone, to S1E1, a show where each week we pick a different sitcom, watch just the first televised episode, and forgetting anything we might know about the future run of that show, rate it and decide if it's a show we want to greenlight or cancel. This week we're going to be talking about The Dick Van Dyke Show. The Dick Van Dyke Show in 158 episodes over 5 seasons on CBS. Today we're talking about episode 1, which was called The Sick Boy and the Sitter, originally airing October 3rd, 1961. To get things started, I'm Jay Gags. With me, as always, the boys, Joe, Ferg, Nick, and Gordo. What's going on, guys?
Heyo.
Hey.
Your husband's awfully cute. This is a weird show where you look up the cast and it's like, they started in fucking vaudeville and then they were in Andy Richter Controls the Universe. And you're like, what a fucking spectrum of a career that is.
I mean,
wild.
yeah, just the sheer age, especially of Dick Van Dyke, who's turning 100 now.
Yeah.
It's just crazy that he has a 75-year-old son.
Yeah.
Like it's just crazy. Like look up his son, and he is our grandfather's age.
His son was just in Tabitha. We just covered Tabitha in October, 2 months ago.
And his other son is like a very famous LA district attorney who prosecuted a bunch of super high profile cases too. Which is crazy.
Honestly too, it's crazy that you can live that old and still have all living children. Usually once you get that old, you have lost a couple.
Probably a combination of things, but good family genetics, that just does exist.
How lucky though too, also to be 75 and be like,
"Hey, Dad."
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That's so wild.
And his dad still has all his bears. And by the way, to go back, because Nick just alluded to it, the whole reason we're doing this episode now is because at the time of this recording, I think we're a day or two out from the actual birthday. Because we drop on Thursday. I think his birthday is 2 days after. So happy birthday to Dick Van Dyke, who's turning 100, December 13th.
happy 100th.
Crazy. Crazy. And then just to, we've talked about it before, but, you still see him in interviews and stuff, and he's still very cognizant and lively. And
He still tap dances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget which one of the talk shows he was on last year, Adam Carolla or Jimmy Kimmel, whatever one the late night shows for his 99th birthday, and he was so lucid and so there where most 99-year-olds just can't have a conversation that way, I watch a lot of old World War II documentaries and stuff, and you see these poor guys who are 99 years old and they're just shells. It's just bananas to think that he can be what he is.
Also, I like that you named the wrong man show host for having a talk show.
It's the Doug Stanhope show, probably.
Late night with Adam Carolla.
so if only I could get you guys to watch the Coldplay video.
Never.
Yeah, when you start watching things we send, we will watch things you send.
You just send me fart videos.
You don't watch anything.
How can you say we just send fart videos when I'll send a video and then a day later you'll send the same goddamn video?
You do the same thing.
Ferg has done it, Jay. You do it consistently. All the time you do it. You don't read anything. Oh, when are we doing this? We had a 20-minute conversation about it yesterday. You just don't read, you don't watch. It's why I'm boycotting your content.
I'm in a lot of group chats and stuff, and it gets overwhelming.
What's the point?
I'm boycotting because I will not watch a Coldplay video.
I mean, I'm with Ferg on this one, yeah.
Yeah,
if any of you listening want to watch, it's basically just a mini documentary in tribute to Dick Van Dyke. It's very sweet. His whole family's in it. He's in it. And they interview him inside the video. So I would recommend checking that out.
Couldn't they got someone cooler to make that video, though?
Typical Coldplay, exploiting an old man to get views.
Oh, I forgot that was their thing. That's the thing they always do.
Apparently it is.
Apparently my joke went over your head.
Well, in any event, a couple things I want to go over. IMDb 8.5. Rotten Tomatoes doesn't really have any scores. If you check the season 1, there's so few reviews, it kind of doesn't matter. It was 100% and 90% audience, but legit only a few reviews. And this is also a show that if you want to watch it, it's basically on all the free streamers. So like your Plutos, your Tubies, Plex. It is on Paramount Plus. So yeah, it's very easy to find.
I watched it on Peacock.
Yeah, I watched on Peacock, I think, as well, yeah.
Yeah, just about anywhere you want to go, you're going to be able to find it. And then if you want to check us out on anything, go to s1e1pod.com. And that's where you can find all our links to our social medias, where to listen to us. S1E1 Pod on Instagram, X, all that stuff. If you have any suggestions of shows you want us to do in the future. But yeah, Dick Van Dyke Show is still, it's a show I'm kind of surprised we've gone this long without doing, because it's such an iconic, to me, like staple show that like has really set, the stage for what the modern sitcom is.
We tend to do older shows, but we don't do old shows that often.
Yeah, like Lucy's the only other one I can think of, yeah.
There's like the new Dick Van Dyke Show from the 70s. It would make way more sense if we had covered that first, just by like the nature of what we usually do. Now we could have done a Dick Van Dyke month for his birthday.
You took away Dicksember. Damn, Jay.
Damn, man, that would have been good, yeah.
My bad.
Dickmas? Happy Dickmas?
That would have worked so good, and we struggle with Christmas episodes.
It would have been Merry Dickmas.
Well,
Merry
damn
Dickmas.
it.
we didn't end up doing that, but I want to mention, Joe, you brought up the new Dick Van Dyke Show. I think it's funny that you have the Dick Van Dyke Show and the new Dick Van Dyke Show. The two shows are not related at all. It's not a continuation. He plays two different characters in the shows, and neither of which he's playing Dick Van Dyke. We talked about this before. There's so many shows that are like the so-and-so show, and more times than not, they're not even playing themselves. It's just like a way to loop you in with their name.
I think Carl Reiner did both of them, though. I think he was the creator of both.
Carl Reiner, well, it's funny because, I mean,
This one he was.
to get into it, I don't know if you guys know much about the history of this show, but Dick Van Dyke is basically playing Carl Reiner in this show. And there was an original pilot where Carl Reiner plays the main character. And the whole cast is completely different. And it was called like Head of the House or something, How to Head of the Household. That's what the show is going to be. And they're like, listen, we like the idea of the show, but we need to change it around. They basically told Carl Reiner, we love this show about you, but we don't want you in it.
Yeah.
And they flipped it all around and it became what it is today.
He saved his mojo for the Ocean's movies.
Yeah, the whole thing with like Carl Reiner was like the writer on a show and all that stuff. Like that all is what this is.
It worked out well, though, because Carl Reiner plays the main character of the show, like the show they write for. And for the first like 4 seasons, you just only hear him. You never see him.
Yeah.
And then if you think of like seeing Carl Reiner in our lives more, right? Like when he like pops into The Jerk for 2 minutes, right? He's always so funny as a person who's just there for a second. Like he plays that role so well.
He's hilarious, yeah.
Yeah, so it's good that he's like a fucking genius writer, right? He gets to do all these things, create all these things, and he can occasionally pop into stuff, be funny for a second and leave. I think that's way less of a burden than having to like lead a whole show yourself.
We will have to do the new Dick Van Dyke show because it's like the idea of calling something the new blah, blah, blah show and it having nothing to do with the original one is so funny to me.
There's another Mary Tyler Moore show too.
But it is Dick Van Dyke's new show, so it's not...
Yeah, I know.
You know what
it's
I mean?
just,
Like,
it's very misleading. It's not like the new WKRP in Cincinnati. It's
do you think it was as misleading in the 60s and 70s?
Yes. People
Yeah.
were dumber then.
Also, too, like the original Dick Van Dyke Show probably played in reruns and syndication in the 70s so fucking much because there was just so much less out there that was in syndication, right? So it was just so much more present in the culture. I don't think this really even played that much when we were kids in syndication outside of TV Land.
What are you talking about? It was on Nick at Night.
That's what I mean, Nick at Night on TV Land. But it wasn't on like if you look in Mrs. Doubtfire, right, where like they get in the fight, where it's like we always watch Dick Van Dyke after school. Like that was on in syndication in California at 3 p.m. I don't think this show is ever like that in the East Coast, or at least in Boston, right?
not that I recall.
Not that I remember it.
But we were at such an age. I mean, like Nick at Night was such. It's funny because we all grew up on so much Nick at Night, which is kind of the fundamentals of so many of the classic shows that we are somewhat informed on when we cover them.
I always turned it off when this came on. Boring.
Oh, I love this one.
This is going to be an interesting one because this is one of those tough ones where the importance and historical context also have to bear out to like, would I watch this again? And that's always a tough balancing act.
Sure. We'll get into a lot of that stuff as we get along, I suppose. But yeah, I mean,
What network did this originally appear on?
CBS. I mean, at this point, you had like two options. I mean, there wasn't a lot going
At this
on.
point, you had NBC, CBS, ABC. So you had like the three. Three major
Okay, so we're
networks.
at the 3 now. Okay. Still wild.
And we've talked about this on other shows before, but I find it very funny when you look at, modern television versus back then, which, not to get in the long conversation, but 5 seasons, but it went 158 episodes, where now 5 seasons stretches you almost a decade, and you're lucky if you get 50 episodes out of it.
Yeah, we've really adopted the like British take on seasons of shows now, where it's like
It has been basically
It's the
more
British way.
we're so close to Christmas. I'm so happy.
I
you just
watched
did
it
that.
the other day. It was my first Christmas movie to throw on.
It's not even Thanksgiving.
I don't give a shit.
We're recording this supposedly in December, per Jay's conversation earlier, though.
It's releasing in December, yes. As of the recording, we are a couple days shy of Thanksgiving.
Give me a good Thanksgiving movie. I'll throw that on instead.
Thanksgiving.
There's also Thanksgiving, but Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is the only real Thanksgiving movie.
That's the only good one.
Yeah. And even then, if you go and buy, like, even if you look it up on like whatever streaming service it is, the new release cover of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is fucking infuriating because it's John Candy and Steve Martin standing at the crossroads of the North Pole surrounded by Christmas presents. And the North Pole signs say Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It is not a Christmas movie. There are no presents at Thanksgiving. Who greenlit that fucking cover? It makes me furious.
Well, I have a Thanksgiving movie you can watch. Fun Times at Gobbletown High. Yeah, maybe Gordo's High. But
Well, I guess this would be a great time to start talking about the show itself.
I'd actually really like, if Gordo's this high, I'd actually rather hear him tell me the synopsis of this movie. That sounds like a way better time.
turkeys.
Nope. Later.
You know he's not that quick to
Yeah.
think of a synopsis off the top of
I
his
just
head.
love the one word you could get out was turkeys.
So I want to jump in. So the intro to the show, now this is one of those shows that has a very iconic intro, and we're not seeing it here for episode 1.
I was very upset.
So
Yeah.
we're not getting him like coming in and tripping over the ottoman. Like that's not what's happening here.
Which version of that iconic intro do you like more? When he trips over the ottoman or when he does the whoop and goes around it?
I like the trip.
Trips.
The trip.
Yeah, I think I like the trip.
I was thinking too, in a more current, our lifetime thing. I always love, there's like that little tiny joke in Wayne's World 2 when he's flirting with Drew Barrymore. He turns around and he trips on the table and he goes, Dick Van Dyke Show. It's so fucking funny. Such a great, like, tossed off line.
So yeah, in this intro, we're just seeing like a hand that's holding a folder with the name of the show on it. And you hear the narrator reading like the Dick Van Dyke Show. And then as the hand like shifts away, like everything flies out of the folder and it's just a bunch of photos of like the cast and stuff. And they fall like all over the table. But like what I thought was weird is we don't use those pictures to introduce the characters. Like, so it's all these pictures of everyone on the show, but then they just go to still shots of the show itself to introduce everybody.
Yeah.
The pictures have like no bearing in the intro, which, I mean, whatever. And then like most shows of this era, you're just getting like big band music playing in the background.
It's just like brassy, jazzy, big band music. It's crazy too, though, because we're only like 12 years into the actual life of a sitcom at this point. You know what I mean? Like, it's still such a new.
Yeah, they're still figuring out what sitcoms are, yeah.
I wonder how far into the show's run they took to get the actual intro that everyone knows.
Oh yeah, I didn't think of that. That's tough too, right? Because you'd think that I would have assumed they would have gone back in syndication like a lot of other shows do too, and put like the classic one people know as the.
A lot of times that's done. It's tricky on our end because I always like in my head want to watch this the way it was presented originally to people, but we can't help that. Sometimes we don't know what copy we're getting. If it's a DVD release, sometimes it's different than the streamer release or whatever.
Second season it came out because the
Wow.
him tripping over the ottoman was actually part of an episode in the first season.
Oh, so they did the clips from the
Oh.
first season thing in the second season. That's a pretty classic thing to do too.
Well, you have to remember, this was all done like on film. Like film. It's like a little bit harder to edit.
Yeah, but most sitcoms were done on film till like the mid to late 80s.
Film.
So,
But is it done on film?
I just had something, and I had like a real thing to say, and you broke me. I don't know what I was going to say.
so from there we get to the first scene and we see Laura Petrie, who's played by Mary Tyler Moore, and she's in the kitchen.
Woo! What a babe.
Yeah.
Mother
Mega
of
babe.
God. I
Fucking
forgot to.
Mega babe.
I forgot how much of a crush I had on Mary Tyler Moore in this show. Because when she first shows up, I was like brought back to being like just watching this on Nick at Night and being like, wowzers. Like, she is such a babe.
I can't remember, Nick, were you present when we did the Mary Tyler Moore show?
I don't think I was, no.
We definitely all talked about it. We talked, I think
because it definitely came up because that was for me a little bit more. And that show is not that, it's like 10 years after this one comes out, and she's 24 in this episode. So
she's
like,
super young here. Yeah.
She's aged up a little closer to our current age when we're watching the Mary Tyler Moore show. So I think it caught my eye a little bit more. Not that she's not attractive here, but yeah, I guess like growing up as a kid, I guess I didn't think about it because it's like there were such older shows that I wasn't really thinking in that way about like adult women, and like to see her like going back is obviously just an absolutely beautiful woman. And here, like, she's so young, she's 24 years old, and like you could see it in her face. It actually almost cost her the role, from what I understand, because they were a little worried about like the age difference between her and Dick Van Dyke.
It was like 10 or 11 years, right?
He's got a baby face too, though.
I mean, he still looks young for his age. Yeah,
he's got a gigantic head.
Yes,
it like doesn't fit his body. It's like a fucking Macy's float.
He looks like he drank the Ken Griffey Jr. tonic in that Simpsons episode or something. Yeah, his head's just way too big.
Or like when you the 007, the GoldenEye cheat code, when you can make all the bad guys' heads huge.
Yeah.
Here we see her, and she's on the phone with her neighbor, and you hear her saying, "Oh, you're sending him home? Does Ellen have a temperature?" And like then like their son Richie runs into the house. So basically, like, her son was next door playing with the neighbor, but now the mother next door is like, "Oh, we got to send him back. I think my daughter's sick."
And Richie, the only other cast member here who's alive outside of Dick Van Dyke.
That makes sense.
And he's crazy
like,
young too. He's only 70. We're like, I don't know, time keeps being like a fucking
only
weird
70.
thing. 70s? I mean, I don't think of 70 the way 70
70's
was.
quite old.
I wouldn't say crazy young. Yeah, when it comes.
That's a young man right there.
The men in my family have historically not made it to 70. So
mine make it not that much past it. So that's quite spry and young.
I just think that nowadays 70 usually, I mean, as a historically changed in time, right? Like people didn't live to be 70 in the Old West, and they didn't live to be 70 in the 40s. Also, wars killed a lot of people younger then too. But now a person who's 70 is still working, right? Like they're still stuck going to their fucking job. You know what I mean?
Well, he may be old now, but he got really old to me on this show very fast.
He is.
I'll say this.
We talk about some kid actors. He's not as seasoned as some of the ones we've seen before.
There is a reason he only has the credits he has. I mean, he was just in this basically, and then like anything else Dick Van Dyke was doing, he'd pop in. But he didn't stay acting. So
Laura gets off the phone with the neighbor, and as soon as she hangs up, he's like, "Ellen's got a disease." And she's like, "No, Ellen's got a temperature. I wouldn't say it's a disease." And he's saying, "Well, whatever she got, I hope I get it too, because she's not going to have to go to school tomorrow. I thought you loved going to school." And he's saying how they're not teaching any good things. They're teaching stupid things like the alphabet. Like, the alphabet's not stupid. You have to know them how to write television shows like Daddy does. He says, "I know. I can do the alphabet faster than anybody." And then he's like, "You want to hear it?" You know, he completely goofs the alphabet as he's doing it. Also, I mean, I'm sure for a bunch of reasons, they have to do this with other characters in the show too. But I would say half the times this kid speaks, they have to dub his voice over again and
it's
re-record
like he's
him.
screaming.
Yeah. Yeah, he's probably blowing the microphones out every time he was doing lines, so they had to like settle him down and fucking have him do it after the fact.
I mean, what's the classic thing they always say in Hollywood? Like, don't work with kids or animals. Like, because you just can't predict, you know, you can't teach it or whatever. Although if they change this to his Chib as a monkey, funnier show, better acting, would enjoy.
But they don't reference the fact that he's a monkey. Just
Right,
like,
they
"Oh,
never
Richie."
just like, "Richie, do you want to eat your liver, Richie?" This is the most liver I've seen in an episode ever, too, by the way. Holy shit.
It might be the only liver I've seen.
Yeah,
God.
we'll get there.
We'll get there, and I'll throw up a bunch of times.
So now Laura's asking Richie, like, "Hey, do you want a cupcake?" And he declines the offer. And the sheer horror of this kid saying he doesn't want a cupcake, you would have thought she just saw a bullet wound in his side.
It's true though. If that, like, you there are things that kids will always eat no matter what, and you can tell if something's up if they aren't in the mood for something that's chocolatey. It's a huge tell.
But again, as we are our age now, someone's like, "Do you want a cupcake?" Like, it's 4 p.m. I can't have a cupcake right now. Are you crazy?
Yeah. I never say no to a cupcake.
I know. Yeah. It's funny though, because it happens a lot throughout this episode, but like, he doesn't show any symptoms and she's still like, gets more and more nervous. Like, I can see being worried like that something might be coming on.
She is overreacting a little.
Yeah, she really is.
But it's an accurate depiction of like how a mother acts with their firstborn.
And a 24-year-old mother too, right? Like, this is a young mom.
Not for the time.
Not for the time, but
Yeah.
She puts the hand over his over his forehead, and he's not hot, and she's still like, but I know he's sick. She's like, we're gonna have to take you to the doctor, and that's when I was like, shouldn't we wait for some symptoms to come up first before we just rush him to the doctor?
It's the main plot device, though. So I mean, it's strange, but I've complained about shows doing a lazier, shittier job of inserting that plot device. So I mean, this one's acceptable, I think.
Also, you didn't take him to the doctors. You took the doctor to you back in.
Well, that happens later in the episode.
that does happen. I will say this though, and Ferg, I don't know if you had similar when your kiddo was younger, but like, I've definitely gone to the urgent care a bunch of times because you're like, oh, spiked a degree higher than it should have. Like, especially when you're new at parenting. Like, I get that where you're like, you're just so worried, you just go, right? You just figure it out, and then you're in the hospital till like 3 a.m, and they're like, they're fine, go home, and you're like, I have to go to work, I'm so tired, but you do it.
Yeah, I mean, when Martha would run a fever, I'd rush her right into the 24-hour.
Thing is, he's not kidding. And
Also, weirdly, it'd be more expensive to take a dog to the fucking doctor's
Actually,
in the morning
yes,
than a
would,
human.
yeah.
It's like triple the money for
Yes,
that.
it is.
also, Joe's like, Ferg, like when you'd over worry and like run around and go to the doctors all the time, and Ferg's like, yeah, sure.
No, we had our trips to the emergency room with him.
Richie's so afraid of going to the doctors, he like runs around the kitchen and then like jumps into the bottom cabinet. I'm shocked that their bottom cabinet has this much extra space in it.
Oh, that's where you put like the bowls.
Yeah, Jay, you have a cabinet with that much space in it in your kitchen.
No, I don't. I can't fit a child in it. There's barely room for like
The
more
one
pots
on the
and pans.
other side of your cabinet, near your refrigerator, doesn't
Yeah,
it go
I
through
know.
to the other side?
This is also the end of an island, I think, too, right? So an
Yeah,
island is
like,
pretty much
I'm talking about like
hollow.
my island cabinet.
I think that's pretty common, though. I think I can fit in mine right now.
Do it.
Do it. Get a picture.
It's full of pans. I'd have to take them all out. And
So
Take
there's
'em
no
out.
room in it.
You don't use those
you can
pans.
fit in it if it's empty. It's a different situation.
Space-wise.
I heard you differently. I thought you said it's full of pants, and I had like a moment where I was like, is he being serious or is he fucking with us? And now I just love the idea there's just like 40 pairs of cargo pants in your fucking drawer.
Cargo pants. What am I, Jay?
Hey man, you like wrestling too. So
What kind of cargo you carrying?
Yeah, what kind of cargo in those pants?
all this ass.
Ew, ass cargo.
Escargot?
Richie's in the cabinet. She's like, Richie, I thought you liked Dr. Miller. He goes, oh yeah, I forgot.
I want to slap him.
Yeah, that was weirdly annoying.
Admittedly, he's a lot. He's exhausting for even for a kid his age.
See, I'm the first one to get bugged by shitty kid actors. This guy, he didn't bother me.
Oh really? I thought he was pretty
Hyper
exhausting.
annoying.
He also wasn't in it enough to bother me.
One great thing about doing our show is I realized that there are good kid actors out there. Because I was under the impression that they were all terrible. So we've seen a couple gems doing this over the years.
Oh man, her name is I know her name too. Stephanie Tanner.
Jodie Sweetin?
Jodie Sweetin. I feel like she's like the gold standard of from all the shows we've done. When you think of how young she was in that episode and like how well she could like read lines and do what she was supposed to.
Yeah.
I think she was like 4 in that, which is like
Again, though, for those first couple seasons, literally all she ever had to say, though, was, how rude. Like, she wasn't giving monologues until a little bit older.
She had a good amount of dialogue. Yeah.
No, she a little later, and like, oh, when Mr. Bear gets given away by accident, ooh, fucking Joey. Of course Joey gives away Mr. Bear by accident.
all right. I don't want this is going off the
Leave
rails.
Joey
So
alone.
we cut to a door that reads the Alan Brady Show writing staff.
This is the Alan Brady Show.
And then we go inside and we see the 3 writers. Rob, played by Dick Van Dyke, he's like sitting there playing darts. Sally, who's Rosemary, she's typing at the desk, and Buddy, played by Maury Amsterdam, he's laying on the couch. I think it's funny because as I'm writing it, you have Rob, Sally, and Buddy, right? Their real names, or at least stage names, Dick Van Dyke, Rosemary, and Maury Amsterdam, all their actual names sound faker than their character names.
Maury Amsterdam, too, he's the guy where it's like his first sitcom started in 1948. You're like, can you imagine being like, World War II is over, and there was a sitcom? Like, it's a 3-year difference, whatever, but like, a sitcom in 1948 is fucking crazy early.
The first one came out in like the 40s. Like the pre-World War II, I want to say. I think it was called like Jack and Marie.
Imagine the proliferation of television sets at that point, too. It was very sparse. Most people you hear get them in the 50s.
Yeah. At some point, we have to do that show, like the first ever sitcom.
Well, yeah. So we get the 3 writers, and they're all sitting inside this office, and they're basically doing their pitches for how they want to like close out this week's episode. She's going over hers, which ends in like a goofy little joke. You know, drive carefully, especially when you're on the sidewalk. After Sally kind of gives hers, it's like, nah, I don't think that's right. And then Buddy's like, well, how about this one? Something more philosophical, like, folks, remember, save your money. Someday it might be worth something. I don't know why it was such a dumb joke, and that one got me a little bit.
I thought they were both pretty good.
And no, it turns out money's worth nothing. It gets worse and worse with time, so don't save it. Just fucking spend it.
It's funny, we've lived through so many inflation and like busts in our lifetime. Where like these guys lived through like way worse of it too, though. Like imagine like when there's like, you know, you'd hear all the time where it's like things were different colors because they needed the color green for the war. And now there's all these candies we know of as like blue because of that. Like things were so bad they were changing candy color because they needed the color to make fucking tanks green. Like they lived through like a weird time.
Don't worry, honey. I saved $500. I think we're going to be okay for quite a while.
Again, back at this point too, though, buying a house was like, I don't know, $17.49. So it's a bit of a difference.
This is when we get Rob saying, like, I don't think we should end this week's show with a joke at all. Like, I think we should have Alan come out and say something with meaning. Like, meaning, like what? It's like, well, I wrote down this quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson, and he's like a philosopher, and it's, he who sows courtesy reaps friendship. He who plants kindness gathers love.
He who goes to bed with itchy bum wake up with smelly finger.
Fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. I should have put $1,000 down on the fact that you would say that. I was fucking banking on it. Oh, God. Ralph Waldo Emerson, this fucking like genius speaker, also a Massachusetts guy, right? I think was it Concord? I think that's where you see all this shit from him and like Thoreau.
The college is named after.
Is he the one that went into the woods? Walden Pond?
No, that's I think that's Thoreau, right?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Is he the one that went into the woods?
I mean, technically, if you lived in New England in 1800 or whatever, 1700, you went into the woods. Yeah. I mean.
So when he gives that, by the way, Buddy's like, oh, you know, that's not a bad idea. We'll do something real serious like that. And then zoink, we'll drop a bag of water on him. People are going to be crazy.
Bag of water.
Thank you, Gordo. I was going to say, that's like the funniest line of the whole movie to me because, like, I'm just like, a bag of water? You just drop a bag of... We talked the other day about... we had some people write into us, too, which was really great about the water beds. Just the idea of dropping a giant water bed onto somebody.
He just goes into Carrie suddenly and he just kills everybody.
Jeez. I always forget Travolta's in Carrie.
They're all just kind of sitting there arguing, like, and it was just like... am I to understand that this is kind of like a... Is this like a late night talk show, variety show? Like, what is this show that they're...
That's the idea that I got.
That's what I got.
I don't think late night, because I think at this point I think most channels went off the air by like 11 at this point. I remember hearing about how, I think maybe New York and Los Angeles and maybe Chicago had late night shows. So like when people started getting like antennas and could get that stuff, they were like, oh my God, TV's on past 10 o'clock in certain places. You could like actually see things. But I think that was much later than this. I don't think TV was on past 11 o'clock.
It's just the idea that these guys are all really on different pages on how they should just end this random episode. And they're kind of, you know, they're just going back and forth about this. We get the part where like Buddy's like, you know, I've been in this business for 25 years. And they're starting to like argue a little bit about it.
I would go with Buddy. Because, you know, Buddy's got the experience and I want my shows to end with a joke.
And you know what? Buddy's
Agreed.
so quick-witted. Like, that's the thing. Like, he's just so... I mean, we'll see it demonstrated later on. But yeah, he's just so quick with jokes.
He's one of those guys too who's just like so funny. He has like 10,000 credits, and some of them are just like voice for a second because he's funny, so he can just yell something off screen and you'll actually laugh at it. Like he's like the ADR guy.
He also has that like high pitched like squiggy voice. Like
You know what I thought about?
Hello? Hello, Dick Van Dyke.
I wonder if Jerry Van Dyke was ever considered for that role.
He was too busy making my mother the car.
Oh, God. He shows up as Dick Van Dyke's brother later on, right?
You know, I think he does actually. Yeah, I forgot about that, but I think he does.
I think he does, yeah. I think he's on the show later as his brother, yeah.
So now they're all kind of going back and forth, trying to figure out how to end this show. The producer of the show walks in, and Sally's talking at the time and notices him walk in, but kind of like turns her head so he doesn't realize that she's aware, and starts going, oh, and besides, let's not forget that Melvin Cooley is the producer of the show, and I think you guys are overstepping a little bit, and basically like, you know, kind of gaslighting this guy while he's under the impression that she's just speaking from the heart, you know, unaware that she's well aware that he's standing there. And she's going on and on about him and saying, you know, Cooley is paid to produce the show because, and Buddy steps right in, who does see him and acknowledges and goes, because he's the star's brother-in-law. And I was like, and I really like the balls he had to just call him out to his face like that, you know, even though it's his boss, he doesn't give a shit.
That's how good they are, though, right? Like, if you know you're that good and you're that integral to the show, then you can be a dickhead to the guy who's only got that job because of nepotism.
And then he's like, all right, how long you been spying on us, Curly?
Curly.
That's something that I laughed so hard at that because I feel like that's like a lost joke.
Yeah, it's like it's a bald joke, yeah.
Because that's when Cooley goes to him, hey, Rob, as the producer of the show, once more, I must insist that you instruct your staff to show me a little respect. And Buddy goes, we're showing you as little respect as possible.
I also liked that. Yeah,
also good. Great, yeah.
And then they say, like, all right, so what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, I came to invite you guys to a party. It's like, oh, a party? When? And basically it's like, it's at going to be at Alan's house tonight. And he's giving this dinner for a few of the network executives.
This is one of those things where, like, it feels, I know it's a sitcom device, but like springing this on them seems crazy because they seem like they work 1 billion hours. And you find out why, because like they're going to be the entertainment. But it does feel like maybe he could come in and be like, I want you guys to come to my party. We're busy tonight. I want you guys to come to my party. Like, it doesn't feel like the middleman would be part of this at all because they don't respect him. But Alan, especially because we find out later he's like a disembodied voice, would have been a better suit for this news delivery.
But I think that also says a little bit of where they see the writers. You know what I mean? The fact that he doesn't even go out of his way to personally invite them and just sends his like underling to take care of it.
It is crazy to think though, like if you think of, like, use Carson as an example, right? Because probably the longest running of all of them, where like he had writers do everything, but like he's funny with the guests, right? Like he actually is a funny person and can make the segments funny.
Oh,
Like Johnny Carson.
okay.
Whereas I feel like, you know, in my brain, it feels like this character needs the writers that badly that, or maybe just it wasn't as funny then. Like Ed Sullivan wasn't funny, I guess, right? Like, I don't know. It's just a weird, different world.
Humor was different.
And then at this point, they're also being told, and, you know, you can bring your spouses or what have you. Sally says, all right, I'll bring my what have you, because she's in a more complicated situation.
I kind of thought this and also Mary Tyler Moore's outfit in the beginning too were like 1960 and she's just like in jeans. And then like Sally is like, I'll bring my what have you. Or like, it feels a little bit like they're being a bit subversive for the time, which is kind of interesting and fun.
The show is like historically known for being very progressive in that regard.
Yeah.
There was once like she fought back, but there was like an agreement with like how much time she could be seen on camera in pants versus having like a dress or skirt on, which was like a contested thing like early in the show. Like, all right, you can wear pants, but you need to be seen in a skirt X amount of the show. It's like, it's crazy.
That's a contract item. It's fucking crazy. Yeah.
Crazy thing to fight for, because who wants to wear pants?
The world was so different not that long ago, you know? It feels like a long time ago, but it really wasn't.
Yeah, now a dress is like if you're going out to like a wedding. You know what I mean? Like most people aren't walking around in dresses anymore. Most people aren't wearing full suits anymore. No, it's weird though. The tie seems to have gone away. That's like the new thing now. It's like people love wearing suit coats and button-up shirts and no tie. And I'm like, I like ties, but I can go either way. I just think it's interesting to see socially or, you know, whatever we've done now. We're like, no ties though.
We've had the tie talk on here a few times.
Yeah.
A Jack Talk tie.
Jack Talk tie very well. Scene ends with a joke from Buddy too, where he says that he's going to be there with bells on. And he's like, and if it's cold, I'll wear something warmer.
And again, a little subversive for the time, yeah.
It's funny. I mean, these like just really hacky, fucking dumb jokes. But I don't know. Every time Buddy hits us with one, it works for me.
Probably because he's like that. Everyone else is so proper in this show. It's like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, that's true too. It's a good contrast.
It's like a little bit of grit in this very squeaky clean, like everybody's perfect world. Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at what passes for party entertainment later.
Oh, don't get me started.
Like,
I
can
will
you
say
imagine?
This, though. We'll talk about it. We've all been to parties with each other. I almost want to have some sort of weird party. Like, I would love to have all of us have some sort of scenario where we can get a bunch of people at a party and we work.
For the last time, Joe, we're not swinging.
That's because you refuse to wear a dress 20% of the time.
Now we cut to like Rob getting home and he's walking into like the kitchen and he's greeting Laura. By the way, like in this episode, did they not make the living room set yet? Was that the problem?
Yeah, you only see the kitchen the entire episode.
No, we do see his bedroom too, though.
Oh, yeah.
The kid's bedroom, yeah. You're right.
Yeah, we see the kid's bedroom when he's in full headdress in a teepee on his bed, which is crazy.
That's not how you guys sleep?
I sleep in a racing car, do you?
I wake up with a teepee.
Fucking sweet car.
So he walks in, he goes, "Hey honey, how's your white satin evening gown?" And she goes, "Fine. How's your red flannel bathrobe?" And he mentions how they got invited to the party. And she's like, "When?" "Well, it's tonight." Like, "Oh, we can't go to that. Why not? Richie's not feeling well." "Well, what's the matter with them?" Like, "Nothing yet, but he's playing with Ellen and suddenly she came down in temperature." He's like, "Well, did Dr. Miller see him?" "Yeah, but he says we better just keep an eye on him." "So then he's not sick?" "Well, like, no, he didn't collapse or anything." "Well, is he in pain?" "No." "Well, then how do you know he's sick?" "Well, there's symptoms." "What symptoms?" "Well, he turned down his cupcake." And he goes, "He turned down his cupcake and you didn't call an ambulance?" Honey.
I'm with him 100% of the way here.
Me too.
I do understand under this, at this point of the argument, like, there's nothing there. Like,
She doesn't have a lot to stand on there, yeah.
She doesn't make a good case for her argument.
She should be like, "This is important for work. You should go. I'll stay here."
No, she just gaslights him instead.
Yeah, like, why do we keep going? It's like, "Hey, look, I'm more about the kid. You stay here. Give me the number where you're going to be. You go. It's for work. No big deal. When you come home, if anything changes, I'll call there." Like, this seems like a very easy to avoid problem.
So I think in this time, that's a weird thing to do.
Yeah.
Show up stag.
I don't know. They kind of address it in the, like a little later in the scene. We could talk about it now.
Yeah, he's willing to, and then she's like,
Eventually, she's like, "You know what? If it means that much to you, why don't you just go?" And he goes, "Oh, you mean that?" She's like, "Yeah, of course. Like, I understand it's your work. Like, we don't both need to be here. I can watch him." And then as soon as he's like, "Oh, thanks, honey," she's like, "But I would never leave my son if he was sick." And then she guilt trips him to not do it. Like, so, because up until like this part of the scene that we're talking about now, that's all I was thinking about the whole time is why can't he just go without her? And I'm thinking, well, maybe it was the times. And then once it gets presented, he's like, "Okay, great." And then she hits him with that after. You go, well, all right, I guess that's the problem. It's more like an in-house problem than the logistics of it.
He's the only one working, and his work depends on him being there, and he's stuck going. You gotta let him go, right? Like, that's just easy math. You can't be mad about that. You can be mad about it, but you can't, like, you feel like, just fucking go. Whatever.
how are they gonna afford liver if he doesn't go
Yeah.
to this party?
So
I
much
was thinking
fucking
that too.
liver. Is liver expensive? I've never eaten liver because I'm not a fucking
I have
animal.
also never eaten liver.
I'm under the impression it was a cheap dinner in that time. Like, that's kind of how I thought it was always presented. It was like a cheap, easy dinner.
What does a pound of liver cost?
About 24 beers.
Pound of liver costs anywhere from about $2.50 to $13.34, depending on the retailer, type of cut, etc. It's usually $3 a pound.
Oh, so there's a terrible fucking range to gauge that on.
Yeah.
But if you just say it says typically $3 a pound, okay, what is a pound of?
Ham.
That's of course what I'm looking at, you asshole.
Oh, Joe, you found other unusual things that you could barbecue.
How much is a pound of soup?
You could have some liver and soup.
2 pounds of ham, Purdue Select boneless, is $5 a pound. guys, spend the extra money and get the ham. Why the fuck are we eating liver? Who's eating liver? Can you even get that?
Yeah.
If you go to the deli counter and you go, can I have liver? Are they like, really? Like, you know, when you go to the grocery store, yeah, like, well, as soon as you go to the grocery store and there's one
That's
random...
like, that's a meat, that's not deli, that's meat department.
Yeah, that's neat. Yeah.
But do they have it?
Yeah.
Did they just have enough of it at every grocery store? Are people eating it enough that it's not getting thrown out?
I think liver's a dying kind of entree at this point of our lives. Like, we weren't grown up eating it, and our parents were maybe the last generation that was forced to eat it as kids.
Like, you go to the grocery store, you want ham or pepperoni or fucking turkey or whatever they have. But if you want like a liverwurst, I'm sure they're like, that's a special order. We don't just...
And I would say that probably, and listen, I honestly, I've never had liver, but I feel like it speaks volumes to like, it's probably not that good, because a lot of things that you get forced to eat as a kid that your parents actually like generationally, eventually, like, you'll end up liking it and it'll go on. I feel like at some point there was a generation when, you know what, liver sucks. And then when they got old enough to raise their own family, they didn't force their kids to eat it.
I think that the reason why liver was popular was that was coming off of like a post World War II boom.
Well, no, that doesn't make sense though. Like that would be something that's more abundant. Like, whereas like you could make X amount of burgers out of a cow, right?
A cow
it only has one liver,
yeah.
right? Like it's not. It's
because it's a good source of iron.
Yeah, but you don't know where the other beef is going. That could be going towards the war effort and
going in my tummy. That's where it's going.
We're sending all the ground beef to Germany.
Yeah, the livers weren't going to fight the Kaiser. The livers were staying here. Yeah,
I think so. I think liver's probably. I'm assuming here. Liver is probably more popular in other parts of the world. But like, I found out I was accidentally eating liver a bunch.
Oh, so you have ate it.
Did you get gout by accident like Bobby Hill?
No, if you ever have like a banh mi sandwich, it's got a liver pate spread on it.
Oh, interesting.
Which I didn't realize.
So I did a little bit of digging, and according to AI Google overview.
Oh, you did digging for AI Google overview? Thank you.
Yes. Liver was popular due to its affordability, nutritional value, and role as a patriotic meat during the times of rationing such as World War II. After World War II, its popularity declined in the U.S. because it was seen as a low-status food and because it could be difficult to prepare properly, leading to a less appetizing result if not cooked properly.
My dad used to eat liver and onions. I remember.
Do you remember the episode of Doug with the liver and onions?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah. But it's a horrendous smell being cooked. It's in this episode. It looks gross in black and white.
It does.
It's like in 70-year-old black and white. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so like thin too, because like the whole thing was when they're talking about the idea of going, she's like fixing dinner, basically like we're not going. So now she's cooking dinner. He's acknowledging like, if you're cooking dinner, then we're definitely not going. So there's this whole back and forth where she's putting it in the pan. He's taking it out of the pan, putting it back into the container. By the way, the pan's already hot. You can't like start frying this fucking liver and throwing it back in the pot as soon as because you heard sizzle.
They're all
especially
going to
considering how thin the cuts were. You're cooking that like instantly.
I just like, I know it's a weird thing to be like, we eat the flesh of an animal, and that's not weird, but their intestines are weird. But like, it's weird if you're eating the intestines. Like, fucking liver's weird.
Sausage?
The haggis is weird.
Bro, sausage.
Not all sausage is intestine.
You're thinking organ, Joe, not intestine.
I'm thinking, organs. Organ meat. Organ meat is what makes me feel gross. Like haggis or livers. Like
the heart, lungs, and liver of a sheep boiled together in its own stomach.
Oh.
Mixed with a variety of oats and grains.
Damn right.
I like tripe. Tripe was something I grew up eating.
That's what, cow stomach?
Like the lining of the cow stomach. Yeah, and that's something. But of course, like you can't be told what it is. You know, like when you're a kid. But yeah, no, I mean, this is definitely like a food that I feel like you never hear about it. At least where we live, like you never hear anyone talking about eating liver.
My mom, maybe back in the day.
But look at us, like we're 5 40-year-olds who've like collectively had it 0 times. You know, like that says a lot.
I'm a little curious about it, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. I'm
outside of Ferg. You know, most of us are a little bit more willing to try things.
I try things.
Ferg said he would.
What if we have a party in the summer where we go to Ferg's backyard and we eat that and we only listen to the Beatles and we call it Liverpool?
I'm busy that day.
Help us.
Oh boy, Liver and the Beatles.
No, I'm the liver walrus.
So I want to backtrack a second. There's a point where when the conversation came up about the cupcake, Rob's answer is like, well, maybe he's just tired of eating chocolate cupcakes. Maybe he wants a vanilla cupcake. He grabs like a vanilla cupcake, and that's when they walk into his room. And he's like, hey, how would you like a nice vanilla cupcake? The kid's like, vanilla? He's like, yeah, with vanilla icing. Like, vanilla icing? I like chocolate. Like, oh, okay, I'll get you a chocolate cupcake. Well, I don't want one. You don't want a nice chocolate cupcake with crushed nuts on top? I feel like as a kid, like now, crushed nuts on top's fine. As a kid, that would deter me from wanting it.
Did anybody else notice that the vanilla cupcake had that Hostess swirl on top of it?
Oh, yeah, the top.
No.
I didn't catch it.
I don't know if that was maybe a thing that was done and then Hostess adopted it, but I feel like Hostess has been around for a wicked long time, so it probably started with Hostess.
Also, kudos to Mary for making 2 different flavored cupcakes.
I was going to say, that's why. If you came home and your significant other was like, I made cupcakes, you'd be like, what the fuck? It's like, and I made 2 different kinds. Like, what the fuck? Am I dying? What's happening?
Oh, by the way, at least for Mary and Dick Van Dyke, I will be calling them by their real names because I cannot not call them Mary Tyler Moore and Dick Van Dyke.
I kept laughing because the shorthand of my notes just kept saying DVD for Dick Van Dyke. Only on DVD.
He feels his forehead. He's like, he feels fine. He's like, well, my forehead might feel fine, but the rest of me might be sick. And they tuck him in. He's like, okay, I'm going to get some rest, Daddy, so I don't get sick and die.
That gets such a big laugh from the audience. Like, child,
that little kid's going to fucking die.
And they tuck him into his teepee.
Yeah.
Well, he'll be sleeping with fishes if he gets the disease.
Drives me crazy, though. I would never react that way. If the kid doesn't have a fever, it's like, all right.
Yeah.
He can have a sore throat. He could be coughing. If there's no fever, I'm not worried.
Yeah, like that's like the number one thing. Like, is your temperature high? Other than that, probably okay. Especially a younger kid. You're like,
Yeah.
Kids get sick all the time.
They do.
I will say this, though. The kid, the teepee, all of this is maybe a little problematic looking back on it with modern eyes. The most problematic thing of this whole scene is Dick Van Dyke being like, well, I'm going to the party anyway, so I'm going to take a quick bath. Pardon me, sir. What?
Right. I
You
thought the
don't
same
like
thing.
bats?
You also can't take a quick bath.
No, I haven't taken a bath in 30 years.
You should try it.
I bathe in nice hotel rooms. I've discussed that before.
Oh, I've been in like hot tubs, and I've been in like, a bathtub in a hotel room, sure.
That's not a bath. A hot tub, you get dirtier.
It's true. Yeah, I've never been like, I'm going to go meet my friends later, so I'm going to go in the tub, light some candles, lay down for a couple hours. Like, a bath is an insane thing to do to get clean to go somewhere.
Well, because they didn't have... How do you know if they even had showers at this point? Like, I'm not even
They
like...
had showers.
Because it's not 1850, it's 1960. There were
You
showers.
don't know that.
Yes.
I do know that. There
You
were
don't
very
know
much
what year
showers.
this show happened?
Yeah, I would put money on the fact that Dick Van Dyke's house has a shower in it.
I'm going to look up when showers became prevalent. When
You're gonna
Get
feel stupid.
installed.
You're like the early 1400s.
Like Gemini or OpenAI, it's like, please stop asking me stuff, dude.
It's
I
gonna
can't
be
do this.
before the 60s.
Nope. All right.
just-
So showers started becoming more common in the U.S. homes in the 1920s, but became a standard fixture in homes in the late 1950s and 1960s.
That's where we are, Gordo. We're in 1961.
It took until the 1970s for them to become truly widespread in the majority of American households, as many homes, especially in rural areas, still relied on baths or had limited plumbing until then. So, Dick
Well,
Van
since
Dyke,
they live outside of Manhattan in a rural area, I'm assuming they only had baths here.
they probably had to heat up the water and put it in buckets in his bathtub.
What year do you think this is?
No, this is not. He's not in a farmhouse in the 30s. This is not the Grapes of fucking Wrath. He's in a suburb of New York City in 1960, and he has a television writing job. His house has a fucking shower.
You don't know that.
Yeah, when in the 1950s did this show come out?
It came out in the 60s. You fucking idiot. That's what we're trying to tell you.
Regardless of all this, this is where I struggled part of this conversation between the two when they're in the kitchen with like the idea of they're both kind of wrong, you know, like she is being too much, right? She's overprotective. But ultimately she's like, I just want to be home with our sick kid, which is like understandable.
He's not sick.
Right, I get it. But she's under that belief, right? But, and then with him, it's like, does he have to go to this party? No, you can tell he just really wants to and like get to rub elbows with some of the other people at work. And like, he likes to entertain and be around all these people. And he's kind of like disregarding the idea that like, let me worry about my son first because he wants to go to this party so bad.
I'm worried because of her women's intuition. Like, go read your Zodiac next.
He's saying like it's important. There's going to be executives there and everything.
It's his job. They're one income household.
I mean, and I get that part of it.
Like, he's got to go. Unfortunately, he's got to go.
I would side with Mary if she didn't fucking guilt him when he was gonna go alone.
Yep.
That's the biggest problem I have with that whole thing is her guilting him when it was like settled.
My biggest thing with her is that she's like, okay, fine, we'll go. And we have all these conversations about like, it's a one income family, and it's his job or whatever. And then she's like, I'm ready. And she's wearing a fucking mink stole. It's like, okay, do you want to keep wearing mink fucking stoles, lady? Like, this guy has to go to his stupid fucking entertainment job that makes a lot of money. You can't just have like...
Joe, she probably trapped it in the backyard.
Yes, I forgot. This is Trapper John, MD, is the spinoff of Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Now, honey, we can afford the minks or the shower. Which is it going to be?
We'll take a bath and I'll have the mink on me. But no jeans more than 80% of the time. I love where our shows go sometimes. Where I'm like, what are we going to talk about in this episode? I wonder. Like,
Gordo arguing about time periods he doesn't know what year the show we're watching is in.
Dude.
Now for the Davy Crockett Show.
I'm just saying, man, it was a different time.
Yes, a different time, and showers existed.
You could trap minks, and you could take baths.
In New York?
It's 1960. It's 1960. The fucking... Marty McFly's parents have been married for 5 years already at this point. We are so past this being like in the huge faraway past.
Don't know that.
I do know that.
It's your cousin, Gordo Barry. This is the new shower technology you've been looking for.
So the two continue to argue about this whole situation, right? And he's saying, listen, I wouldn't object to staying home if the boy was really sick. He's like, he is. He has a fever. He's like, 1/10 of a degree. You know, he grabs her really close and
beats the shit out of her.
He hit her again.
You hit it pretty hard there, Rick.
He's saying to her, like, why do you want to be such a martyr? She's like, not a martyr, a mother. And he's like, same thing. He's like, oh, look, honey, I know how you feel. I think you're a great mother. But there's such a thing as being too great of a mother. You're being over solicitous and overprotective. It could be bad for a kid. And it's like, and not that I disagree with them, but I don't like knowing that he's only saying this to get her to go to the party. You know what I mean? Like, it's everything he's saying to her has some truth in it, but he's saying it for all the wrong reasons.
All for ulterior motives, yeah.
The correct reasons. It's his job and it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then it's just like, he doesn't even want to go alone if it was presented that that's okay. Because he's like, listen, darling, like, call me crazy, but I think you're the most beautiful girl in the world, and I want to show you off. It's like...
It's funny that's what works. All the logic in the world, he compliments how beautiful she is. All right, I'll go.
We're a shallow species.
Yeah, like, you can't be mad about it. Like, we'd all be convinced by that. If someone's like, you're so handsome, I want to show everybody how handsome you are. I'd be like, okay, I'll get in the tub.
Oh, shut up, you. Okay.
I'll get in the tub, put on my nicest suit.
And she just doesn't want to leave their son at home. And she's like, I feel something's going to happen. Like, women's intuition. He goes, you mean superstition? Like, no, it's not superstition. It's scientific.
That's a get in trouble, get in a fight with your wife comment, though, for sure. That, like, did not pan out the way it would in real life when he says that. It's like, it's not women's intuition, it's women's superstition. Like, that is a you are on the couch type of comment.
Not in the 50s.
It's the 60s.
Again.
Why can't you wrap your head around the right decade for this show?
Gordo, I want nothing more for a bonus episode to watch in real time Forrest Gump with you and just keep asking you what year we think we're in as the movie progresses.
1974.
The whole movie? I don't
The
think
whole
that
movie.
works.
I don't think you've seen Forrest Gump.
I have. I've watched it with you.
You've
Why
watched
did all
everything
these
with
reviews?
Ferg, apparently.
Ferg, how many movies have we
Gordo's-
watched?
It's your greatest comeback. We watch it together, I swear.
Where did Forrest Gump get shot?
In his butt.
Okay, all right.
And he got
Thank
put
you.
up next to Lieutenant Dan.
I was really hoping he was gonna say like a state, a location.
In Vietnam. I don't know the state in Vietnam.
Duh,
but-
Greenbow, Alabama.
And then he goes on a fishing boat with Bubba Gump Fishing Company. Yeah, I've seen movies. You guys don't believe me.
To be fair, this all feels a little more like you know culturally about Forrest Gump.
No, I've seen it. It wasn't a good movie. I saw it.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
It wasn't a good movie.
It's a great
Okay.
movie.
Gordo,
No, it's a guy. It's a fucking special needs dude who you follow him like we didn't start the fire. All right. He goes all the way through the fucking decades. It's not entertaining.
It's incredibly entertaining.
Girl gets like AIDS.
Yeah, that's cosmic justice right there. All
I
right.
want this to be the fucking Blu-ray copy in the back of the box. Gordo.
If there's any more evidence you ever needed that we shouldn't even bother greenlight or canceling, like, or taking into account Gordo's greenlight or cancel, it's the fact that he thinks Forrest Gump sucks. It is, you might be the only person
No, I
to
was going to
think
say,
that movie sucks.
I love Forrest Gump. We all love Forrest Gump. The younger generation of kids, like there's like a whole backlash against Forrest Gump right now. That like younger generation does not think it's good. They think it's hokey. They don't find the charm in it. Like we're like the last generation.
Are they mad?
But I'm just saying, Gordo's not alone. Gordo's gray beard and those 17-year-olds weirdly are aligned with each other for some reason.
This movie sucks, right, guys? Skibbity! And then he just beat him up just for being a weirdo.
When did this movie come out? 1967.
What's so funny about that is,
Okay, it's not cool anymore.
literally, I saw Gordo 2 weeks ago and asked him. He said 6'7". I said, "What does that mean?" And you said it doesn't mean anything. And I was like, "Why are you saying it then? What are we talking about?"
He's like, all us kids say it.
Why are you saying it to him at 40?
Someone said it to me.
We just throw off the at 40 thing casually, and like we've been doing this for a long time now. Like how depressing it's gonna be when we're talking about Forrest Gump, and we're like, "Why are you just saying that when you're 50?" Like it's such a depressing thought to have 10 years in the future from now. When we're like, the only member from the Office cast to still be alive is fucking B.J. Novak.
No, it's going to end up being Bob Vance. He outlived everyone.
That somehow looks like fucking Lord Dracule the whole time.
So now we're at a point where Rob's like trying to haggle his way into getting her to go with him to this party. So now it's like, I'll go to 2 of those decorator shows and 3 PTA meetings if you go to this party with me. She's like, 5 PTA meetings. So now he's smelling a little blood in the water because now she's considering this. He's like, "You'll go?" He's like, "All right, but I refuse to enjoy myself." And that's like when we flash forward a little bit and we see her now like completely done up and she's giving the babysitter like the instructions for the night.
Yeah, this is the Mink Stole scene.
Yeah. What did the mink steal?
She's like a wreck, right? Like just the idea of leaving her son behind. So here's the doctor's number. If he seems sick, call him but call us first so we can get like started towards the house just in case. He's trying, like, it gets to a point where like Rob's trying to do everything humanly possible to like get her to go. And she's just going over every possible scenario, where numbers are. There's food in the fridge if you need it. It was funny. I think like she was doing a really good job here, like showing like her hesitation on leaving.
Yeah, and I like how he cavemans her at the end.
Oh yeah, when he hit her with his club.
Yabba dabba doo.
He does the opposite here too, though, because he's forcing or fast handing her, like, let's get out of here, let's go. And they do a fast cut to it's 11 and she wants to go home, and he's like, the party's just starting, baby. Like, it's fucking 11. You've got a 15-year-old watching your children. It's 11. Time to fucking go home.
Oh man, party started at 11.
That's show business, baby.
They start at 11 maybe when you're 15 and not watching a child, but they don't. I mean, she's 25 actually, so
Yeah.
that's partying at 11. He's 35. He should know better at this point.
They haven't all thrown their keys in the bowl yet at this point.
But baby, I don't know who I'm gonna fuck later. I don't know who I'm gonna trade you to.
I wouldn't trade Mary Tyler.
Nope.
No, you don't put those keys in the bowl.
Well, I want to, but before we get too far into that party, though, there is like a couple things that I want to mention, like in the instructions. At one point, she's like, if anything happens, your mother lives next door. You can give her a call. Like, she's like, she knows her mother's next door. As she's like, holding the threshold of the outer door part, she's getting more questions. Like, she's like, pears and apples in the fruit bowl, and on the bottom shelf of the refrigerator, there's. And then the girl's asking, wait a minute, what did you say was on the bottom shelf? And then it gets to the point where Rod just goes, who knows? If it's food, eat it. If it's a phone number, call it. And he like drags out. Something about that line and his assertiveness of him like dragging her out, I thought was really funny.
Yeah, you cavemaned her.
That's a little like, leaving.
I mean, he physically picked her up.
Yes, he does. But it's funny because granted, this is episode 1 and the try not to get ahead and stuff, but like my depiction of Dick Van Dyke is not the type to be like, get over here and like pick her up and muscle her out of the house.
I was gonna say, is she married to Scorpion?
ABB. It's like,
but that's what I'm saying. Like he's the goofy guy who falls and trips over himself all the time, So like seeing him in this, like, come on, we gotta get out of here. It's atypical.
And you know what? This seems very accurate. It is impossible to get a woman out of the house when you're trying to leave.
It is cliche but true.
Yes.
I know nothing.
What is the timetable we're trying to get? You said they get to this party. It's 11 o'clock when they get to the party.
No, it's just when they chime in.
Yeah, they fast forward. When she's like, hey, we have to go home, it's fucking 11. And they're like, we haven't even done our routine yet.
But do we know how long we have no idea how long they were at the party, right?
Never established.
I didn't like that they cut it that way, to be completely honest. To cut from them, like, to getting to the party to, like, we're skipping most. Granted, we get what we need from it, but to make it look like we're flashing all the way to the end of the party, I feel like there was like a little bit missing there.
I mean, this kid's not going to bed any later than 8 p.m., right? He's a young kid. I'm gonna guess 7 p.m. is his bedtime.
The kid's already in bed though, because when they're leaving, he's saying, "Don't wake him up."
Okay, so I guess we even call it 8 p.m. They've been there for 3 hours, then maybe.
Well, she already said they're pretty much an hour from there too. So they got there at 9. That's a late night, man. Like to hit the road. Imagine hitting the road on a work night at 8 p.m.
To go an hour away, to stay a bunch of hours, to drive an hour home, to drive an hour back in the morning.
She says an hour, he says 20 minutes, so I would meet in the middle.
I mean, maybe he means traffic-wise, because they're going into Manhattan. And driving Manhattan, I think everyone here has been in a car in Manhattan before where you're like, well, fuck this. This is a nightmare.
But yeah, I think the way they did this scene, especially where this show in particular does it in shows of this era, where they just kind of do that, like, flash forward, like you get that little wipe sequence and we're like within the same scene but time has passed. I think we should have got one of those at the party, like let's see them come in and then flash forward a little bit to the okay, we gotta get going now, and then with that you only need like 30 to 45 seconds to maybe establish a little bit of them walking in.
But what does that matter if they don't establish the time as they walk in?
I just feel like it felt weird that the first time we're seeing the party was them leaving the party. It felt like I felt watching it like I missed something. Like there was something, like, was there a scene I didn't catch?
I kind of like it because to me it shows that like there was no need for this party. We didn't have to show it to you. Like they didn't have to be here for this.
Yeah.
Like it was just a fucking regular night. They had to drive, they had to be there, get a babysitter. Like I think that shows the like how inane actually going to this party was for them.
And then when they're trying to leave is when we have the producer Mel, who's like trying to stop them. And it's like, well, Alan got hung up on a long distance phone call and he was hoping that you all would do like a little something to keep the party going. Oh, like entertaining a little. So it goes right back to what Laura was telling him a while ago, they only get invited to these things to keep everybody else at the party entertained.
So here's my problem with this, is knowing this, he's still okay with it. And it's like, they want you to show up and be the clown. Like,
Right.
and you're totally cool with it. You're like, you prepared a thing for it.
But that's the thing. That's what they are.
It's his job,
They're
though.
comedy writers. They're performers.
They're writers.
But they're performers too. Like, you see that in all this. So at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, but they love it. This is what they like to do.
I mean, using SNL as an analog, right? Like, you see all these people who are like, we were writers for years. And then, like, the second they're allowed to come out, they do, because they also are performers, right? Like, they write comedy, but they used to do stand-up. They used to do sketch, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this at this point in time too, like you had to be like well-rounded in everything.
Oh, back then, too, it was like, oh, can you sing? Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
you can't do any. Can you sing? Can you dance? Can you tell jokes? Yeah.
My mom is obsessed with old movies. She's always, for her whole life, has watched the oldest of the old movies, which, as a result,
I don't
I've
think
seen-
Jay's mom knows color TV exists.
Like, walking into your house, like, a Fred Astaire movie is on no matter what. Yeah.
I've watched more of these like classic films than I ever would have imagined, and more than I would say the average person my age. But yes, this was a time where like every movie was like a quasi musical. You had to have all the tools. You had to sing and dance.
I hate musicals. I hate them so much.
I'm with you. I don't love them.
I mean, that's Dick Van Dyke's background too, though. Like when this show was being formed, they plucked him. Like Dick Van Dyke was working on Bye Bye Birdie, like on Broadway when they asked him to do this show. So, I mean, that's his legit background.
Fortunately, like things like this are what really date the show.
Yeah,
Whereas when we do older ones, it's like I don't want to see them perform to extend the runtime of the episode to hear music from that
Yep.
time that I'm not into.
I'm not going to lie. I tuned this part of the episode out almost entirely.
See, it's funny to me because this is like what saved a lot of the episodes to me. Like I enjoyed.
I liked a
this.
lot of this,
I did.
too. Yeah.
I did like
I
this.
hated it.
No, I immediately check out when I start seeing singing and dancing in anything.
Even on I Love Lucy, like I hated the musical numbers.
But I felt like that was
Yeah.
such a big part of that show too. Like I don't know.
Listen, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying I don't enjoy it.
yeah, not for me.
No, and that's fair. But yeah, it's so the three of them are all going to do their performance now, right? And this is clearly not the first time that they've all performed together because they have bits and things lined up and ready to go.
They've been swinging for years, baby.
Yeah. So as soon as it starts, they all head over to like the living room area and, you know, everybody's sitting around just like while they're about to, you know, get the show going. So they gather everyone up and they said like, all right, we're going to get everyone nice and pepped up. So here's how we're doing it. All right. Everybody grab hands. And then the guy in the end stick your finger in the light socket and, you know, gives a little joke to get everyone ready. And yeah. And then they all start singing a song.
This house is wired with knob and tube, so if you touch it, you'll probably burn the whole place down.
No, the asbestos will keep them safe.
The horsehair.
Joe, there was not electricity back then.
Oh, sorry, it was the 1850s. I forgot. Shower? We don't even have gas lights.
Can you imagine being at a party and that's the entertainment?
I mean, to be fair, though, we've all been to parties.
If it's actually entertaining, I'm cool with it. And
We usually don't have any entertainment at a party. It's people's company and music in the background. And
Company
food.
and music. That's the entertainment.
This is the exception, though, right? Because like nobody we know could be this entertaining. I don't think
No.
at just like a regular party. But if you're in the circle of people who do this professionally, then this is different. Obviously, like Joe made a good reference to like SNL. Like if you're hanging out with like Bill Hader and he gets up and does some cool shit, like yeah, obviously that's gonna be
this is three comedy writers on like a television show right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. This would be like if we were at a party and like the Lonely Island just gets up and starts doing like I'm on a boat, you know, like
To be fair, I would say, as the one person here, would be like, I'm leaving. Fuck this.
I think you don't like him out of spite. I think this is something like you've decided.
I
you
don't
like
dislike him as a person. I think those songs and all that shit is just not funny.
Too modern for Joe.
But if Norm Macdonald and Chris Farley were talking and doing riffs, or Chris Farley, David Spade, or a million other people, I'd be fine with it. I just don't think the Lonely Island has ever been funny once.
The fact that I watched you not enjoy delicious lettuce legitimately pissed me off.
Not funny. Didn't enjoy it. Didn't get it.
I think some of like two of the hits were funny, but mostly I am with Joe. I don't think they are as funny as the masses seem to think they are. I think they just kind of annoying.
Don't even know what you guys are talking about.
You're better off.
Is that those two dudes who sing the song?
Yeah, those two dudes
that
that sing the
many
song.
songs. Yeah.
Also known by as Hall & Oates.
You're a rich girl.
No,
They're all done now.
And my dick's in a
I don't want
box.
to talk about it.
So anyways, the three of them do like a little song, and they get a little applause from everybody. And they're like, "All right, everyone, that's the end of the act. So from now on, everything else is an encore." And they use this as a way to like all three of them kind of have their own individual acts, right? So,
But Al, encore is a one-size family pound meal.
so we have Rob kind of introducing Buddy, and in this, Buddy is the human joke machine, which is something that he in real life did.
He actually
this is like
did,
an
yeah.
act that he actually did.
Now I get to ask my question: what a milk bath is? I have no fucking clue.
Well, Ferg, before they invented milk showers,
you scrubbed it on your skin because it made it nutritious.
Also, they have nutritious skin.
a milk bath is a cosmetic treatment where milk is added to bath water to make the skin feel soft, smooth, and hydrated. It works by using the lactic acid in milk to provide gentle exfoliation and soothe skin irritation. To make one, add milk to warm bath water. Yeah, I gathered that.
Maybe I should do that.
Along with optional ingredients like colloidal oatmeal, Epsom salts, or essential oils. It's a disgusting bath, is what it is.
Yeah, as I say, salt bath is
Oh,
the
you
big one.
must smell so bad after that.
Yeah, right.
You smell
Yeah,
like
it's gross.
spoiled milk.
No, you actually, because then you're also adding a couple eggs and some vanilla. Basically, you're going to turn yourself into French toast.
I think, though, after you're supposed to shower.
I would hope.
Yeah,
Those
but
don't
Joe,
exist.
it's 1910.
Oh, sorry, pardon me. In the modern world, if you take like I know mustard bath is also another one. I'm not being being facetious. It's a real thing. Yeah, like mustard bath. It's like something built.
What?
to
It
the-
sounds like a shitty ska band.
It does.
Oh, you mean any ska band?
Oh, come on.
Look, I will not sit here and say ska is good. But yeah, I think after you take any sort of like weird bath, which is like also it's like a hot tub, like you have to shower after too, right? Because like the water's gross.
But just to backtrack a little bit too, the idea of joke robot or whatever he is, the human joke machine, is anyone in the crowd was able to shout out a word and he could turn it into a joke, which, yes, milk bath was one of the selected words.
The weird modern analog for this I kept thinking of is in the first Aziz Ansari special, where he's doing the thing where he's like, yell out a place, where can I get a blowjob? And I feel like he'd be like saying things, makes a joke, and the last one is like, he's like, I don't want a blowjob on a blanket, it's cold. It's like just like people yelling dumb places you'd get a blowjob. I love the idea of yelling shit at a comic and they just go for it.
They do that whole thing after he gets his round of applause. Now they introduce Sally Rogers, who's going to do her song about Jimmy Durante and how she wishes she could sing like him, whatever. And it's this whole bit. Now, this is another one where Rosemary, this is like a song that she's performed outside of this show. This is like part of her bit because they're all comedy performers outside of this.
Yeah, well, she better be funny.
That was comedic.
You didn't think the song was good?
I mean, I thought it was fine.
Good, but it wasn't like slap my knee funny, ha ha ha. Like,
So this is where it gets tricky because I think we struggle with this all the time, right? This is a song that is a fucking legit knee slapper riot when the show's new.
sure.
Yeah,
Because
like
it's
time,
more
I suppose.
contemporary.
Like, I don't know
It's-
this guy that she's singing
Yeah.
about. And I get the joke that he must have a raspy voice and blah, blah, blah. But, like, because I have no attachment to that, it's not funny at all to me.
Yeah, Jimmy Durante is a very of the time reference that isn't something that carried over to like any modern generation. So watching it 60 years later does not. This is like in Tombstone when he's playing Chopin. He's like, play Camptown Races. It's just like, it's not going to work the same way for both types of people, you know?
There's the point the song cuts for a while and she's like continuing to do the impression and she gets into do like a little bit of stand up as him. The joke, I'm not going to tell the whole joke, but the idea was the meal in question named in the joke was pheasant under glass, which I want to just talk about that because it's brought up in this, which was like a another thing that's kind of like gone in the modern world, right? So pheasant under glass was legitimately pheasant that was served like in a bowl
Just
with
like
glass
a
over
glass
it.
dome, right? Yeah.
Yeah, for presentation.
A cloche, is that the word for that?
Sure.
Sure, yeah,
okay.
yeah. We'll go with that.
It's like when somebody hands you like a big tray of food and they pull the thing off.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah,
I think it's a cloche,
yeah, it's like
right?
in movies when it's a fancy thing and they all take it off at once.
You know what, Joe? Even if you're wrong, you're close enough.
Oh.
We get the human joke machine over there.
Yeah. Somebody yell out a word.
Bart.
Fuck you, man. You could have said anything.
I was going to say the World Trade Center. You ruined it, Gordon.
I'd be the worst person at that, by the way.
Oh, I can riff.
Like, I'm never going to be the on-the-cuff guy.
Oh, I thought you meant World Trade Center. I can't do it either, but World Trade Center, I could have gone, yeah.
I'm hardly the guy who can do it when preparing.
She gets back into the song. She finishes it out. Everyone's applauding. And now it's Rob's turn. So she's like, all right, Rob, I got him right where you want him.
Do you guys think this is like really weird? It's like, here's my impression of this guy none of you know. It's my
Yes.
wife's uncle.
So Rob's
Yeah.
basically doing his like uncle-in-law impression. And as he's explaining this, I'm like, are you trying to lose? Like, whatever this was, like,
Like, what are you doing, Rob?
This is my
Yeah,
Uncle
I'll-
Denny. It's like, what?
all the impression was his drunk uncle, but it was funny. The way it's done was he's like fall on the floor, incoherent, drunk, but whenever his wife's in the room, he like shoots straight up and he's sober. And I did think that it was implemented pretty well. The way he did it was when he explained it, I'm like, this is how he's supposed to follow the guy who can improvise all these jokes and this girl who has this big song with this stupid impression. But when I saw it in action, I did think it was funny.
I mean, we talked earlier about like him tripping over the table in the beginning. Like, this is the body humor of Dick Van Dyke finally getting to be shown in this episode, right? Because the whole thing is him doing funny fall downs, jumping back up, and doing like the sort of leery drunk walk thing. I think he's very funny in this. I think it's very good. I think he's great at this. I think it would have landed better though if you like named a famous drunk instead of your wife's uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the storytelling to lead up to it was a little odd when it's like your wife's uncle. The thing was, this was like the needed scene where you would definitely want to see a little bit of Dick Van Dyke's physical comedy, and we've made it this far and haven't gotten any of it. So like this joke helps facilitate at least seeing like, oh, this is what this guy can do.
I did like this. I thought this was
It's
funny.
just strange that he chose that subject. Like, were there no drunk celebrities? Like, that
That's
he
what I'm
could have
saying. Yeah,
chose?
like even like Fatty Arbuckle, and it would have worked better, right? Because like people knew who that was.
Fatty Arbuckle.
He was a famous drunk of that time, right? He was trying to think of...
I didn't know he was a drunk. I just thought he was fat.
Well, his character was a drunk.
Oh,
And he's
okay.
like, oh, check it here. And he's got like the bottle and everything, right?
I honestly could not tell you a damn thing. You could be straight lying to me and I would not know.
Like the Rat Pack, aren't they always drunk?
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
an even easier one, right? He could have been doing Dean Martin, like, oh, shake the glass, chicka, whatever. Fatty Arbuckle, I'm pretty sure his whole thing was My Little Chickadee was a drunk thing, or he was just incomprehensive when he spoke. I don't know. Again, we're looking at this from like years later. Where like I would see him on PBS when we were kids, so who knows?
Didn't he kill someone?
He did put a Coke bottle into a sex worker's vagina, and she may have died. Is kind of the weird thing, and that got like refuted later, but it ruined his career.
Fatty!
It did ruin his career. I think they figured out that like that's not what happened, but I think the general consensus is not great, man. If we had to go, if people like hear about you and you're like, yeah, it sounds like Fatty, like that's probably not a good thing, you know?
What happened was she queefed and then it shot out and killed a bystander.
Okay.
We're talking about a show starring a 100-year-old man, and we made it an hour and 47, and someone said the word queef. Here we are. We're doing great, guys.
So when he's done with his bit, they kind of all do like one last song together again.
I just want to say, because I'd be remiss to not mention it, that what makes him feel better at the end is a ham and mustard sandwich.
Gross.
With the pickle.
Yeah,
Oh,
all
man.
of that I'm on
It's
board for.
Can't believe you guys don't.
It's insane, right? Yeah.
I don't like ham nor pickles.
It's so weird. to
How do you
me.
not like ham?
Ham is like, it's God's meat.
Have you met me?
Yeah, I met you. You don't like broccoli. I assume you like ham.
It's too salty for me. I don't like it.
It is very salted meat.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
A leftover, like, spiral ham
Ooh.
sandwich.
Oh, that's good.
Fuck yeah, dude.
We already broke the fourth wall when we're recording this. We're hosting Thanksgiving in a couple days, and the next day I will eat so much leftover ham, and I'm so excited for it. And I'll eat 0 turkey.
Oh, turkeys.
I like pepper turkey, cold cut turkey, but I don't like turkey.
You have any Thanksgiving chicken parm?
No, but we'll have meatballs and lasagna, so
Oh, your famous meatballs we've all heard about.
I'll save some for you. Come on up.
Ferg, don't you remember that WrestleMania we watched with Joe?
We made us all meatballs.
You've all been at my house at some point. I make meatballs a lot. I assumed that was one of the times. I feel like I should not be chastised for this.
I've had your meatballs.
Thank you, Gordo.
Thank you, Gordo.
I've had your meatballs.
I thought your meatballs were delicious, Joe.
They were good.
I'm not going to make fun of Gordo here. Gordo, I'm on your side.
Yeah, no, they're pretty good. I think I make them, my way. Like, you make them your way. Like, they're very good. Sauce was
I
good.
feel like meatballs and meatloaf are like very specific to the maker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, everyone's got their own little thing.
So now we're at our last scene, and we see the two coming home after the party, and they walk into the kitchen, and everything's quiet. They're like, look, see, everything's fine, no disaster, everything's just the way we left it. There's Janie's school books and radio and the doctor bag, and then Laura gasps, and Rob's like, the doctor bag. I thought, like, if you looked at her face when she gasps, like, it was like out of a horror movie.
I can't even imagine having a kid back then because, like, when we leave for like a few hours, you can always check in. Everything's good, right? Everyone's still hanging out. We're alive. We're good.
You got a phone in your pocket. You could voice chat. You could call. It's so easy.
You can video call. You can just do a quick like FaceTime or whatever. Now it's so easy. I can't even imagine then like coming home.
Back then, they just call on the landline.
But yeah, but you don't expect to come home and just see a fucking doctor bag. That's a freak out moment. You'd know that ahead of time now, Also, doctors don't come to your house anymore. They'd be at like urgent care or the ER or whatever. Yeah.
But also the idea that, like, obviously the scene will pan out as we talk about it, but the kid had 0 symptoms when they left the house a few hours prior.
Yeah.
Yeah, but kids also can like escalate. I mean, think of last time you had the flu, right? You're like, I'm fine. And then 6 hours later, you're in bed going like, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die.
But even if it was like that bad, like the worst case scenario for this kid was what? Just that he would feel really sick and maybe be cranky or upset.
I don't know, Jay, when you had things like whooping cough and, polio.
I mean, whooping cough is still a thing.
I think all those things are still a thing. Those are all more of a thing now because we stopped vaccinating our children.
Well, oddly enough, the polio vaccine became like readily available the year after this. So I guess by some sort of technicality, you're right.
Yeah, see?
Kind of.
I mean, it was a huge, in the UK especially, there was a huge.
Oh, no, my bad. This is October 61. It was available in 61. Polio is not an issue.
Hey, Gordo, you were wrong again.
You're wrong. Wrong by a hair.
Getting closer to being right.
But still wrong.
But in the US and especially in the UK in the 50s, like the post-World War II kids, like polio was like, there's huge outbreaks of polio that like crippled kids, who were like.
My dad had it.
Dealing with that shit through the 70s. It's like, it was very prevalent, yeah.
Why everyone's so worried about chicken.
Yeah. And then the famous water polio.
Chicken.
Guys, we're all complaining about the breakdancing in the Olympics, but what about the water polio?
I'm sorry. Just to get it, for anyone who's never seen, are you all,
Chicken.
Joe, are you familiar with that Family Feud?
No.
What's Popeye's favorite food?
And the girl hits the buzzer and with the most extreme confidence goes, chicken.
Why ever put yourself in that scenario?
So
We'd be great on Family Feud.
it's one of my favorite internet videos. That one will make me laugh 100 out of 100
Is
times.
Steve Harvey the host? Or is that...
I believe he might have been for that.
Yeah, he was.
He's a great host. I love him.
I mean, he's no Louis Anderson, but he is great.
Dummy dildo. I will say, though, that feels more like a Ray Combs era thing, right? Because, like, Popeye is not a currently like kids don't know who Popeye is now. You know what I mean? Like we did.
Yeah.
No, but that's the thing. People know Popeye's chicken.
The thing is, though, it's so stupid. You know how no matter what you say, no matter how dumb it is, everyone goes, good answer, good answer. Well, her families are like, oh, God, Karen, what the fuck? Just like, even then.
That's my favorite thing when people break away from the good answer, and like every now and then you get the one guy who's being real about it.
Moron.
I didn't even put together Popeye's chicken.
I didn't either, Gordon. I'm with you. I was just like, what fucking idiot doesn't know what spinach is?
Give me chicken!
But like, again, there's like Popeye's not in the culture right now, I don't think, anyway.
No. Bluto isn't either.
Popeye's chicken's fucking awesome.
Have you guys been outside? Popeye's chicken is very much in the culture. Yeah, it's like a very
No, that's what I'm
popular
saying, but
thing.
like the character of Popeye though isn't though. Like
the
yeah.
character
Show,
Popeye.
Yeah, like there's no like modern Popeye kid cartoon.
There's
right
a
now,
horror
really.
movie that just came out.
What is he? Is he public domain now?
Yeah, he fell into public domain last year.
It's Popeye, Witty the Pooh, and Steamboat Willie. All
So the
public
Popeye
domain.
one, it's basically the plot of Friday the 13th. Like, he's Jason that just looks like Popeye. So weird.
Weird people who get like implants in their forearms to look like Popeye because you can get like fake muscles now, which is fucking crazy.
Tell me
It's one of
more.
my favorite Family Guy jokes. As he's at the doctor's and he's like, those things in your arms are tumors. You should know a normal person doesn't look like that. And then he talked and he goes, also, you talk like that because you had a stroke years ago.
I've said it forever. I don't think Family Guy is funny more than once an episode, but the one time they're funny per episode, you're like, holy shit, you struck oil sometimes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so now they're in a panic, and we see the babysitter's like parents walk in, and they're like, "What's going on?" Like, "Oh, don't worry." It's like, "Oh, we're just glad to see you back." They're like, "Where's Richie?" "Oh, he's in his room. He's just falling asleep." And they're like, "Oh, little fella had a rough night." Rob's upset. He's like, "I had to do the encore. For goodness sake, like thank God for neighbors like you." And the doctor walks into the room and they're asking again, like, "How's Richie?" He's like, "Oh, sturdy little fella. Most children would have upset themselves terribly with all that blood." Like, "Yeah, he's sturdy." Blood?
Like, does he have the bubonic plague?
At this point, like, I'm like, what the fuck happened? Like I'm confused.
I figured it out.
I didn't figure
I
out.
didn't.
I didn't either, Ferg. I think you're smarter than all of us. I was just like, what happened to this poor baby?
I was like, something happened to the babysitter, which is why they didn't get the call that she reminded her 100 times to give.
So this is when, as it's revealed, turns out the babysitter Janine hit her head on the freezer door, and that's where the blood came from and all this. And, with Rob and Laura, there's a sense of relief, but they kind of have to not that they're happy that this girl cut her head open, but they're glad that their son isn't, in a really bad way.
Thank God for Rob, because he would never live that down for the rest of their marriage, which probably wouldn't last long because it would just be fight after fight after fight for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, that would have been a quick one.
Yeah.
You ended up leaving him for the actual star of the show. Like, that seems like where this goes. Like, the wife of the writer goes to the star of the show.
So now, we're left with just Rob and Laura in the kitchen after the doctor and, the family next door all left. Laura had just checked in on Richie and like, "How is he?" "Oh, he's fine. Poor Janine, though." Then he goes, "You and your women's intuition." She's like, "Yeah, how about that?" He's like, "Honey, I'm sorry for being such a nag." He's like, No, sweetheart. You're not a nag. You're a warrior. And I'm glad you are, too, because I don't worry enough. And you worry too much. So we worry just about right.
It's accurate because that's how my brain was working. If she overreacts, he underreacts. So they're a
Yeah.
very good balance.
Find a good medium.
Now, this scene here is super corny, and it's set up like an old. I mean, this is an old show, right? So it's fitting for the time. But this dialogue, I did like that there was a bit of self-awareness from him because it did help. Because there are points where I'm like, he's hard to follow, like, because he's very stubborn and just wants what he wants. And, it wasn't like anything was that bad. Like, I think they made it clear that the son wasn't that sick. But all you're seeing from him in this episode is him being very him first. Even if it was justified, like there wasn't a lot of
Yeah.
they didn't give him a lot of redeemables, right? So for him to acknowledge his shortcomings and how her shortcomings balanced the two of them, I thought was important to get this from him in this part of the episode. And then he's giving her credit too, like, that women's intuition, like, you thought something was going to happen tonight, and it did. Like, well, I didn't think that was going to happen. He's like, yeah, but you thought something was going to happen. Like, how'd you know? And then she goes, darling, I'm a woman. And she like takes off her pearls and walks away.
I'm going to go put my pants on.
Because I can't.
I did the pearls off thing because she like looks back at him as a like,
I'm going to take more off.
yeah, the pearls are off. Let's go.
That's
yeah.
what I kind of thought, only because of his reaction. Because like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got to say that she is going to get a pearl necklace.
Why'd you have to go there, man?
Coming from you, Joe. That's
No, that's not even
meaningless.
Google approved.
No, the Google boys wouldn't have said that. I would have found a way to work around that and then drop that in there somewhere in the middle.
You're talking about that wonderful 24-year-old mother.
How dare you? And Forrest Gump was a classic.
No, it wasn't.
Damn straight.
Yes, it was.
I mean,
would-
like that's like not even like a subjective argument.
No.
Guys,
You
I
guys
know it's
just have
stupid.
bad taste in shit.
I honestly, I'm not going to give you. I think you need to watch it again as an adult.
Don't watch it again yet. No. We're all watching this again. I don't care if it's a bonus episode. I don't care if it
When
never
the
comes
fuck
out.
are we going to find the time to all watch Forrest Gump? It's not going to happen.
We will find time to sit for 2 hours and watch this movie. We will do
We're
it.
going to Joe's house. He's making meatballs, and we're watching Forrest Gump.
That was like the perfect.
He's going to have a
fucking
big pot of soup on the
Saturday.
grill. Yeah.
And again, I saw the picture you posted of that. The grill has a burner. I'm speaking of the burner on the grill. I'm not talking about putting soup on the majority of the grill. They make modern grills with fucking burners on them so that if it's the wintertime, you need to cook pasta or soup, you could.
That's not what that's for.
Yeah, that's what it's made for, but it's a nice thing to have. If the power goes out, you can boil water or soup. I don't understand why you guys were all so against me on that.
Are you Survivor Man? You boiling snow?
You don't need to boil. You can still get water when the power is out. You don't have to
Yeah.
boil snow.
So why are you
put
boiling
in a
water
pot.
on your barbecue in the winter?
Because if the power is out and you want to have food to eat, you could boil pasta or make soup on the fucking burner that's attached to a modern grill.
Oh, now you're grilling pasta.
All right. For anyone who's not familiar with past episodes, some of you are extremely confused right now. So,
I'm
to
just
get
angry.
past that, long story short, Joe likes to have barbecues where he just makes soup. Anyways, with that being said, that's the conclusion of the episode. A little bit, I guess, before we get into the green light or cancel. This one was tough because, I was thinking about this. We talked about it a little earlier too. It's like you create a show like this and like think of its cultural impact and how important it was and all this stuff. And then with children's shows or like when we do Nickelodeon shows, we try to view it through the eyes of a kid. But then when it's a timepiece, are we trying to look at it through the eyes of someone in 1961?
It's hard.
And it's tricky, right? And we're admittedly inconsistent. But I think we're getting a lot here. Like I think, Ferg was very clear early on, and then behind the scenes, he thinks the show is pretty boring. And these shows are paced different, but I like a lot of the goofy, slapsticky when they're performing in the living room. We're all torn on that kind of stuff. I do think it was such a different world, and even though we're looking back at it all these years removed, I think shows like this become a nice time capsule to look back at. Instead of watching a modern show that's trying to take place in 1961, to actually look back at that era and see how people acted and, the little nuances and things that you'll catch along the way. I thought the show did a good job of kind of letting you look into that world.
Things like smoking cigarettes indoors. Classic.
We caught the tail end of that.
Better time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, you look
Yeah.
at any Christmas pictures or family photos from 1992 and there's just a blue haze going across the whole room.
I only bring that up because during his when he's performing, you don't see someone take a hit of the cig, but you just see a big puff of smoke come in front of the camera.
Yeah.
It's oh, someone's smoking.
Well, he picks it up too, and he puts it out on his thumb, which is really weird.
I'll say this, everybody on this podcast used to smoke. And the second they're like, we can 3D print lungs again, I am running to the store to buy cigarettes. It's back on.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't miss cigarettes like that.
Oh my God,
I don't miss
I miss
day,
them
every
so
day.
fucking much. Yeah.
Really? I got to a point where it didn't appeal to me anymore.
Even with new lungs, you can't change the fact how much cigarettes fucking cost, so I will never go back.
Bro, they're $20 a pack now. It's insane.
Yeah, it is crazy.
It's insane, man. It's what you could get like a cheap carton for back in the day.
I mean, it's a smart way to make people not start smoking, right? Is to make it so expensive you can't fucking afford it. Like, it
Yeah.
makes total sense. But the fucking fiends, right? Like, we're no better. I mean, I'm no better, at least, right? I have the vape thing now.
Me too.
Gordo does the same thing, right? Like, it's a way to, like, wean off it. But anybody who, like, just quit cold turkey is, like, making such a better decision monetarily, if nothing else.
You know, one last thing I do want to bring up though before we get into the green light or cancel is like, again, this show went 5 seasons and could have went much longer. This was a show that collectively the cast was like all in unison, like, you know what, let's end it here. And they ended pretty much on top and like gracefully, like, didn't drag the show into the mud. And because of that, it's one of the last shows. This was the last show to like have a full run that ended in black and white. There was never a colored episode that it was on TV. They colorized episodes later, but
Well, yeah, they found out that as soon as I think season 3, they could have switched to color.
yeah, and they opted to stay black and white.
Yeah,
That's
because
why
it was like an insane amount of money. It was $7,000 per episode, which by today's was something like $40,000 an episode or something like that.
What was that like though in live time? Like, you watch TV now, some shows are in color. Is it tough to watch the couple that haven't changed yet? You know what I mean? It's like when we finally got HD and then you tried watching back. Joe's the wrong person to ask. But
I was going to say, look, I'm the wrong person here, but I also think that I can watch an old movie in black and white and not think twice about it.
Yeah.
I think it's like you get used to a show in black and white and they change the color. I don't like change personally, so I'd think I'd prefer the black and white if black and white was what I was used to.
The color has to be done well. I remember when they first switched, it wasn't, I don't think it was I Love Lucy. It was one of her sitcoms that ended up being in color, but it was like very poorly done in color.
Yeah.
It was there was a really high contrast. It was tough to watch. So that definitely plays a part in it, I think, too. And also, I mean, as far as them doing it in color, like filming it in color, I think maybe part of it was that not everybody had color TV. So they might be wasting money on something that not everybody could even watch. So,
and remember too, like, there was still a very small market for rewatching and reselling anything at this point. Like,
yeah,
so many of the shows that existed in the 50s don't exist now because they just never kept it. They just filmed over it. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't keep the tapes. And like, as a nerdy thing too, as we go into our lives later, like wrestling, it's a huge thing, right? Like, there was so much wrestling that's gone now in the 70s and 80s because they like just didn't think to.
Oh no, all those arm drags.
Look, buddy, look.
so in any event, might as well get into the green light or cancel. Guess I'll just go in standard order. Joe, starting with you.
Yeah, my tough thing here was, I just said a minute ago, right? Like, the black and white doesn't bother me. The time frame doesn't bother me. I love old things and old movies. And this had to walk, so a lot of things could run. I would say it would have been a cancel if it wasn't for the party scene, which I think does elevate the episode. You get everyone's personality. You kind of get what's going on with this show and where they're going to go. And I think you needed a scene like that to not just be like the at-home stuff and the at-work stuff. You needed something in the middle to say, these people have like wacky situations to get into, right? Because you're going to be bored. Like we talked earlier, right? You only see 2 rooms in the whole house, right? You need like a third thing. What is the gear the show gets into to not make me just feel like I'm watching a work show or a family at home show, which is like a Leave It to Beaver type of thing. And I think because it is so early in the 60s and they were so kind of wild that it's worth greenlighting. I don't think I'd rewatch this now as an adult. Again, we talk about time. I'd rather rewatch fucking Miami Vice than this again, but it's worth a green light because it is an important and good sitcom for the time. Dismissing your thoughts of it now.
Berg.
It's a cancel for me. Like I said earlier, young me would always change the channel when this came on right after the intro. Although old me doesn't think it's boring like young me did, it's still just not for me. And ironically, the party scene is why Joe passed it. The party scene is why I'm canceling it. That really killed the episode. To put the final death note. The death nail in the coffin is what I'm trying to say. I thought that was just to extend the episode. It was out of place. It drove me nuts. And it really dated the show. Other than that, I was on the line for a lot of it. And I would have probably leaned on the passing side, but that scene just killed it for me. So, all in all, I think Dick Van Dyke is an awesome actor. I love him in Mary Poppins. I love him in Night at the Museum for like him. That's the longevity of his fucking career. He's just that talented that this spans decades, but this wasn't for me. So it's a cancel.
Just real quick, was it the first time anybody brought up Mary Poppins? It's wild.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
My bad.
All of our bad, no.
I'm going to jump in the middle here, only because I just think it's funny that Joe and Ferg's deciding votes were both based on that party scene, and so was mine. And I, like Joe, it's what won the show over for me because I thought it was such a fun scene, and I really enjoyed that part. And again, maybe that's for me. I mentioned before, like I grew up watching a lot of like older movies with my mom, and like the singing, dancing, performing stuff, like that style of humor is very reminiscent to a lot of that kind of stuff I watched. But I thought it really it gave you a different perspective, made it more fun. I think a lot of the house dynamic, they didn't really settle away until the very end of the episode, where I thought, I didn't really like Rob's outlook on things at times. And we didn't get his self-awareness till the end. But like when we saw him at the party and him being a performer and really shining and being fun and the physical comedy and everything he was doing, I think that was really what made this episode for me. And also, we didn't really get into it, but this was a show that was meant to really focus on the workplace and not the household. And Mary Tyler Moore kind of is what changed that whole dynamic because they loved her so much that they wanted to, include more. So, I mean, what we are seeing at that party scene is really what that show was meant to be in the early days, which was, them being funny and performing together and having fun. And it did it for me. So, green light here, and go to Nick.
Yeah, I struggle with older shows. I tend to get bored, and I also struggle with anything musical related. So right off the bat, that's two factors that would contribute to me disliking and canceling a show. And I think if this were anybody else, I would cancel the show. But I'm going to greenlight it just on Dick Van Dyke. He's just so captivating, and I enjoy him on the screen, no matter really what's going on. And it's the rest of the cast. There's hardly a cast in this. I don't imagine that many of the party people will be there. I mean, the two people he works with, his wife and his son, I guess, are going to be like the mainstays. This isn't a hard green light. Like I was on the fence, but ultimately it's a green light. I think it's just a well done classic sitcom. It's especially a sitcom that absolutely paved the way for other sitcoms too. Like you can't take away that this show definitely led the way for a lot of shows that we like today and have liked in the past. So yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily my cup of tea with the musical aspect and just the age of it, but just from a sitcom perspective, I think it's a green light. Yeah,
Gordo.
Yeah, it's a green light for me too. I always liked this as a kid. I like it as an adult. This wasn't the strongest episode. It did take a while to kind of ramp up until the party scene, but you got to see what was coming on this show, and they do they do a good enough job that I want to see episode 2. Historically, this is a very important show. You have to give it a green light. Dick Van Dyke, Mary Tyler Moore are both icons, legends. You got to give them the green light. So happy 100th birthday, Dick.
Yeah, happy birthday, Dick.
So with that in mind, 4 out of 5 for the Dick Van Dyke Show. So you do live on to see another episode with us. I want to thank all of you guys for listening. S1E1pod.com is where you can find all the links to everything S1E1 related. So go there, buy a shirt, hit us up, follow us on socials, like, review, subscribe, do all the things. We really appreciate it. If you want us to cover any other shows, let us know what you're interested in. And that's it for now. We'll catch you again next week. Happy 100th birthday, Dick Van Dyke. Congratulations. What a milestone. And we'll catch you guys again next week with another new episode. Thank you. Goodbye.
I think we got the best Dick Van Dyke taking a bath. But now I feel like you probably would really enjoy a bath.